Over the years, I've tested dozens and dozens of subject lines, but I've usually found that there's three types of subject lines that get us over a 60% open rate. They're also the subject lines that we've used in our cold emails to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for our clients. And in this video, I'll show you the three highest performing types of subject lines so that you can use them in your outbound messages to get your prospect to open up the email and reply. Let's get right into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are the three best types of subject lines that you need to be using in your outbound messages for your prospects to open up, read your email, reply to it, and book a call with you, right? So, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. So, first, I'm going to talk about what not to do when it comes to subject lines. Funnily enough, I want you to not even track open rates. Subject lines and open rates kind of go hand in hand because people are like, oh, I need the prospect to open up the email. I need to see if the subject line is working. Do not track open rates. And the reason being is because if you track open rates, it'll actually, if you check the button that says, track open rates, there's a little pixel that gets attached to your cold email. And it, funnily enough, ends up hurting your deliverability, right? So you actually do not want to track the open rates because it'll actually make the open rate lower. So turn the open rate tracking off, and you might be like, all right, well, I mean, if the open rate tracking is off, how am I supposed to know if the cold email actually gets open? That's the thing. Look at your response rate. If it's above, if it's above 1%, you're fine. If it's like 1 to 3%, you're fine, right? So track if your emails are being delivered that way. Don't track it by open rate. Track it if the response rate is over 1% and if your warm-up scores are, let's say, over 98, 99, 100, right? But the main thing is don't track it and just use the response rate to see if your email is being delivered. That is it. If you're getting responses, because an easy way to see if your email is being opened and clicked is by just taking a look at the responses you get. If you get responses like, hey, take me off, even if you get like not interested or take me off this email list or unsubscribe, that still means your emails are being delivered. Second thing is don't put more than 5 words. You don't want to make the subject line this massive freaking sentence. No, just put like 3 to 4 words max, sometimes even 2 or 3, and it should be fine, right? Don't make it insane. Don't make it an insane like sentence where it's like very long and it's like a complex thing. No. Just don't put more than 5 words. Sometimes you can do 4. Sometimes you can do 5. I recommend 2 to 3 most of the time, but don't make it insanely long. And finally, don't overcomplicate this, right? A lot of people get stuck on this, especially when they're first getting into cold email. Like, oh, I want to make sure that they actually open it and they click on it. And let me tell you this, right? As someone who sent over 1 million cold emails in his lifetime, it's really, this is the lowest hanging fruit you can have, right? This really does not matter as much. All you need the open rate, or all you need the subject line to do is just get them to open up the email. That's it. That's all you need the subject line to do. So you should instead focus your efforts on the offer, on the targeting, on the copy, because that way the prospect will open up the email and then they can understand what you're trying to say, right? So really do not overcomplicate this. Stick to basic, simple stuff, and you should be fine. This is quite literally one of the lowest hanging fruits you can have. You should instead focus on your offer, your copy, your deliverability, your targeting. There's so many other things you can focus on besides just subject lines. But when you're first starting out in cold email, it might seem like I need to focus on this. This is the most important. Like this is one of the most important things. In reality, it's not. So don't overcomplicate it, right? So there are 2 approaches, like I said, that works very, very well. And the first one is the casual approach. So let me show you how this works, right? You can just copy this, take it. I don't care. First one is like idea for first name, or first name against this, or first name thoughts. So it could be like, hey, idea for John, or John against this, or John thoughts, right? And the reason this works is because it's, like I said, it's just casual, it's simple, it sparks curiosity, right? It's like, okay, what idea do you have for me, or what am I against, or what do you mean thoughts? Like, what do you want me to think about, right? So they open up the email and they're like, oh, okay, here's what this guy has to say, right? So you'll notice that a lot of these have, or these 3 at least, and I believe the other ones as well I have in here, they all include someone's first name. And the reason why is because if you've ever read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, he actually talks about this. People love hearing their name and seeing their name and just looking at their name and hearing other people talk about their name or like speak about their name, if that makes sense. So if you can include that in your email, and if you use that same psychology and if you include that in your email itself, people will gravitate towards you, right? I'm sure you've noticed this. Sometimes when you say someone's name in real life, or you remember someone's name, their eyes light up. They're like happier, right? So it's the same thing here. Just put their name, and whenever they get this message with a subject line, they're gonna click on it, right? And then you can also kind of use this for with company name, but I recommend most of you use this for just first name. First name is usually always better, unless you're reaching out to like a CEO, founder, owner, and they really, 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 really care about the company, and that's like their baby. They're not gonna really care as much about the company name. They will, but not as much as if you did first name. So put the first name like this. And again, it's all about just sparking curiosity. Like your offer could be about anything here. Your offer could be a SaaS, your offer could be SEO, your offer could be lead gen, your offer could be paid ads, whatever it may be. This works for any and all. So just put like idea for first name against this, first name thoughts. They'll just open up. They'll be like, oh, what am I against? What's my thoughts? Or what's this idea he asked for me? He put my name in there. I'm going to click on it, right? So that's the whole psychology behind this subject line. It's casual, it's easy, it's simple. And again, when people see their name like this, they love looking at their name, so they're going to open it, right? So that's the first approach, right? Second approach is offer related, right? So depending on your offer, you can basically make a subject line around your offer and what you're selling, right? So for example, if you're selling Facebook ads, you can be like ad idea for first name. Or if you're selling SEO content or SEO blogs, or maybe you can be like question about blogs for company name. Again, this you can also put first name here, but if this actually works out fine for company name, split test this. But the other one's, hey, billing. If you have like a billing software, billing help for a company name, right? So if you're reaching out to the CMO here, or the content manager, or like the CFO here, right? So all of these are related around offer, right? This one, these make it seem like you internally sent this email, right? So I mean is like if they click on this email and they're like, hey, like or if they see this email, they're gonna be like, oh, like what do you mean add idea? Or like, oh, question about blogs. Like, what do you mean? What's the question here? They're gonna think that this came internally from their team. Like, if it's a CMO receiving this one, he's gonna be like, oh, like did one of my employees send me this? Somebody under me? Did somebody in my department? Or like, oh, like what do you mean billing help? Like, did a customer send me this? Somehow a customer got my email address. Let me see, right? So it makes it seem like you're a customer or like somebody on their team that sent them this email internally, and basically reached out to them, right? So for you, it could be anything related to your offer. Just brainstorm some ideas. You can literally take out ad here and just put whatever your offer is, right? Like lead gen idea for first name, or SEO idea for first name, or organic idea for first name, content idea. This one is pretty simple, but then like things like this, you can kind of you can just kind of brainstorm a few ideas. It's not that much. Like I said, as long as you keep it like under 5 words, under 3 words. This is kind of pushing it. I'm not gonna lie, but this still works because it sounds very vague and unique, but they're gonna think that a customer or somebody on their team internally sent it, right? So for you, when you're coming up with this offer related subject line, you can just use something. You can brainstorm some ideas like this, but like I said, just make it under 4 or 5 words, and it should work out fine, right? It shouldn't be too long. And also another thing I would like to point out here is make sure you clean up, if you're going to do company name, make sure you clean up the company name, right? Don't have it in there where it's like question about blogs for Nike LLC. Like to make sure you clean the LLC up, make sure you clean the corp up, or the other like .co, whatever it may be. Make sure you clean that stuff up because that's gonna look automated as hell. Clay actually allows you to do this on their website. You can just go in there, put like normalized company name, and it should go out there, clean up some stuff. If not, you can just use GPT to be like, hey, take a look at these list of companies, clean up the names, clean up the LLC, clean up the corps, and then output me the cleaned version, right? And it should output you that, right? So that for the offers, that is how you do it. Just brainstorm some ideas and just make it unique around your offer. Like make it very vague, but make it so it gets them to open up the email. It's all about just sparking curiosity enough to where they open up the email, click on it, and then just go from there, right? And then I had one more approach. it's just, this is called the insider approach. This I learned from Troy Aiken from BuzzLead, and this actually works really well. So, for example, this will say something like first name slash sender intro, right? This makes it sound like somebody gave you a referral, right? So it could be like John and Arian intro, right? And if John received the email, he's gonna be like, "Who the hell is this? Like, did one of my friends refer me to Arian? Did one of my friends like put me on to this guy? Who is this, right?" And they'll open up his email, and they'll be like, "Is this like a referral? Is this like a inbound lead? Is this like what is this? Like what is this?" And again, it's the same psychology. People love seeing their first name, so they're gonna open it. And they'll be like, "Oh, this is what this guy's talking about." Okay, right? And again, the whole point of a subject line is to just get them to open up the email. You do not want to sell on the subject line. Even though this could be offer related like this, you do not want to sell them on billing on the subject line. You want them to just open it up, right? So for this one specifically, again, this is the insider one. This literally makes it seem like you got a warm intro, a warm referral, or like an inbound lead from inside their company, and this works really well. Try it out. I learned this from Troy Aiken from BuzzLead. This is fantastic. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked content like this, I know this is a pretty short video, but if you like content like this, please press like and subscribe. And if you are a B2B business making over $30,000 or more, and you want 10 to 20 qualified calls to get you results like these up here, click the link below and you can book a time to chat with me. But other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.